What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Her Lounge podcast. We are so excited today. There's three of us. Well, four of us, including Rob. Sorry, Rob.
We're all gals gabbing. I am feeling this.
As promised, guys, we have a guest today, Brianda Carrasco.
Yeah.
Your last name's I'm excited to have her, another entrepreneur woman that you guys can learn a lot from. But before we get started, you guys know I like to start with a positive quote, thought, affirmation, whatever you want to call it. And today, it goes something like this. If you had it all figured out today, there would be nothing to learn tomorrow. Enjoy being a work in progress.
Amen.
I think all of us are a little bit of a work in progress, at least for me. I don't know. I feel like I'm always like...
Girl, every day I have to give myself pep talks.
Same. I had a rant yesterday with Rob before we even started the podcast.
We literally did 30 minutes before another hour and 45-minute podcast.
Yes. I sat here and vented to Rob, and Rob was probably like, bitch, I'm trying to go home.
Was it about the tamale making?
No, it was more about everything. More about basically what I was talking to you when we were texting, just like I feel so behind.
Me too, boo.
I'm on this little mission to like do this little project. And I just kind of feel like I haven't kind of gotten back on the train like I used to be. And so Rob made a good point yesterday. He just said sometimes you got to sometimes
the train's got to go off the tracks to find its destination.
Yeah,
that's right.
So I thought about it last night.
He's always dropping gems, man.
Right?
Do what I can, guys.
Yeah,
it's because I love y'all, you know?
Aww. But let's get started, guys. So we have Brianda today, and I actually... I met her through Instagram, so
through Rob,
and then Instagram. So I was on her podcast. Also, what is the name of your podcast again? I'm sorry.
Built from the Inside Out.
Built from the Inside Out, and that's also the name of your.
I want to listen to.
Yeah, and you also your supplement line is kind of based on your podcast, also, right?
Yeah. I thought I could tie it together.
Yeah, that's genius. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's wellness and, you know, life is just about fixing yourself from the inside out. Shit. Yeah, for sure. And then you were also Miss Houston Latina.
Just like me, girl. What year?
What? Was that 1970?
What year was that, girl?
Brianda's like, when did you take my title, girl?
Give that camera a kiss.
It's been a minute.
How long ago was that?
2017, so 4 years.
Oh, wow. It's still pretty new. How is that? What is the process for that?
Is it a beauty competition?
What is it? A beauty competition? Yeah. Is that what it is?
Break it down.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's a
Break
pageant.
it down for us ugly people, girl.
Whatever.
Y'all are
Break it down, girl. Break it down.
Please do.
I think you know the organizer too, Sol, I think, right? Natalia.
But she was a winner too, right?
She was. Yeah.
She was a winner. Okay.
Yeah, I think she was a winner in 2015, 16, 15, because there were two other queens and then me.
Y'all want to hear something funny? Funny you say that, you mention her, because I thought the other day, I was like, I need to have her on my podcast. I was like, I haven't seen her since Zumba, because she used to do Zumba. It's funny, when she first got her boobs done, we had another breast cancer event, and she was there.
Okay.
And she was talking to me. She goes, girl, look at my new boobs. And, you know how she is. She's super spunky.
Full of energy.
Full of energy. And I was like, really? I was like, oh, you weren't scared? She goes, no, girl, I needed this. And I was like, okay. She goes, you want to touch him? I was like, not really. It was like, caught me so off guard. I was like,
but in the back of your head, you were like, maybe.
You weren't even curious.
Yeah, I wasn't even curious.
Did you regret it when you left? Like,
yeah, because I was like, because they look so natural on her for being such a tiny person. You know what I'm saying? Usually when you're that tiny, there's always like this huge separation, you know, like especially with bodybuilding. Did she get
like a full B or maybe like
a...
she's
bigger than that.
They're big.
Yeah. I have no idea. I never asked her.
Yeah.
But that's her personality.
Yeah, it is.
And that sums it up.
Yeah.
That sums it up. You want to touch him?
Yeah. She's spunky and just really like, she's a lot of fun energy. Like definitely when you walk in the room, it's like she's going to talk to anybody and everybody you meet. But I didn't know she was the organizer of it. That's interesting.
Yeah. Wow,
I thought she had just been a participant and that was it.
No, she participated, went on to Miss Texas Latina, and then came back. They offered her Miss Houston Latina. And then a few years after, I think this was last year, they gave her Miss Texas Latina as well. So now she has the 2 pageants and her program Fire You Up.
Oh my God. Yeah, you need her on here. That's right.
Yeah, she's a hustler.
She is. So that, what is that like? What do you do? Like, what is the process of it? Like, do you practice being just pretty?
Or where did it all
Or you just
start?
natural as fuck.
Start from the beginning.
All the questions.
Yeah, I know. Let's tell us about that.
So there's different organizations, and they're all different from each other. The first one I ever did was Kima. So Miss Kima USA, and that was, I don't know. Like,
but where did the desire to compete come from?
So I had a cousin who's a year older than me. She's been modeling since she was in high school.
Yeah.
So I had asked her, like, hey, what does it take? People would tell me, yo, you should model. And I'm like, I'm not tall, first of all.
Yeah.
So I asked her, I was like, do you have to be tall, or what does it take? And she was like, no, you don't have to be tall. And then one day she invited me to one of her events. She was like, they're looking for girls. Do you want to come? I was like, yeah.
It's my chance.
Yeah. So I went with her. A photographer was there, and then he called me later, and he was like, hey, do you want to do a photo shoot? So I messaged her, and I was like, hey, should I do it? Do you know him? Like, what? And she's like, oh, yeah, I've shot with him. He's cool. And then so I shot with him, and then that photographer was like, you should do Miss Kima. You should do it. And I was like, so I messaged Nancy, or my cousin Nancy. She actually won Miss Texas USA.
Wow.
In 2017.
That's
badass.
Awesome. Damn, a family full of
A
beautiful
family
people.
of fucking beauty queens. Golly.
So back then, she had competed before, but she hadn't won yet. So she was like, she's like, do it. She'll, I'll do it with you. And I was like, okay. So we did it, and I remember I had no idea how to get ready for it. I went to Brazil. I was drinking, eating, having fun. I came back like a few days before, and I got on stage. And
that is awesome.
No.
Right.
Well, I guess, but I wasn't ready. I didn't know that I had to practice my interview. I had to take classes to be able to answer interviews. I didn't know I had to take walking lessons. I was like, I know how to walk.
So you just walked the way you always walk.
Yeah, I just showed up, basically. So obviously I didn't make top 5. And so I think I was like mad for a while, because I was like, I went up there. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
And then I have a friend, his name's Makeup, his Instagram is Makeup by Diego. His name's Diego. And he was like, hey, I need a model for my makeup class. Would you come? And I was like, okay, sure. So I went, and in that class was Nati. That's when I met Nati.
How fun.
Yeah. And so after the class, she was like, hey, I think you would be great for this. And she gave me her card, and it said 6 foot on it, because that's the marketing company she used to work for. And she was like, you should do this pageant. She was like, it's mine. And I looked at the card, and I was like, 6 foot. I was like, I'm not 6 feet. I was like, whatever. So I thought it was a pageant. So I was like, no. And then she reached out to me again, and she was like, I think you should really do it. And I was like, I've done one before, and I was like, it wasn't a good experience. I was like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And she was like, no. She was like, we have classes. She was like, we teach you how to walk. We give you interview lessons. She was like,
so they don't just let you go in there by yourself blind.
Yeah.
They prepare you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to me, that was like, okay. I was like, maybe I got a shot at someone telling me what I should be doing. So I joined, and I was going through a rough patch at the moment. I had just broken up with this guy, and self-esteem,
wasn't so high.
Yeah. So you know how she is, super positive.
Yeah.
So just being around her, I was like, I need people like this in my life. So I joined it, and it was such a good experience. I placed first runner-up, so I didn't win the first time. So after that, I was determined. I was like, no. I was like, I have to win this. So I was like, okay.
Even first runner-up is great, though, still.
Shit,
Your first time?
Yeah, your first time. Yeah. But I feel
if
you
you're not first, you're last, though,
I know. God, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, that's right.
It's funny you say that, because when I did the Branch Warren, I've competed novice, right? And so I was top 5, but it didn't mean anything to me. And when Christine was like, no, that's great, you're top 5, I was like, we're all novice. There's absolutely zero competition there. None of us knew what we were doing. So no, but I understand that feeling of like, this is just,
I can do better.
Yeah, I can do better. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that was my thing. I was like, okay. I've done this before. I can come back next year and just prepare better. So I called Nancy, my cousin, and I was like, hey, who did you go for interview? Who did you go for walking? Like, what coaches did you use? So she told me. I went to them. And then I saw myself too in videos, and I was like, ooh, I wasn't really, my body wasn't really there either.
Oh, shit.
So
I better not be looking myself in the Damn it.
And we're our own worst critic too. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? That's also another thing.
But I think it's good though, because
it's good,
you see, okay, I need to,
because you're honest with yourself.
Exactly.
You're like, nah, I can do better than this. Yeah.
And some girls, they got mad because they didn't win and they didn't come back. And it's like, well, if you would have brought your best package, you know. And I looked at myself and I was like, I didn't bring my best package. Yeah. So then I got with the right coaches, came back the next year, and that's when I won.
Yeah.
But, so what are the interview questions like? What is it like what you see on TV? Like, what would you do to change the world type thing?
It's some of them.
Yeah.
It depends. It depends on the judges.
What's the purpose of those, I wonder?
I don't know, just to get a feel for you.
See if you can think on your feet.
Because that's so out of this world, that question. It's like, well, I'd need to be like some kind of president or, you know, like...
So you don't know what they're going to ask you. No. The night of, it's a surprise.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do they prepare you?
So what did they ask you?
Yeah.
My question was, I don't remember exactly what it was, but something along the lines of like what message I would want to give to other Latina girls out there. Or something along those lines.
Did you say be a bad bitch? Is that what you said?
Kind of. Okay. In other words.
Okay, got it.
I don't 100% remember
that would
what
be Marissa's
it was.
response.
I know, right?
Be a bad bitch. I'm talking to all you hoes.
Don't let him get you down, girl. Get that self-esteem up.
I would seriously have to talk like that.
If I were
on there, I wouldn't say bad bitch, but in those words,
okay,
I'd have
let's reverse the roles. Ask her the question. Marisol answer it.
Ask Marisol.
How they would ask you. Ask her.
Okay. I'm trying to remember the question.
Just phrase it however.
Okay.
Okay. A
She's
random
that
one
was
that she
4
can't
years
prepare
ago.
for.
I've moved on from that, guys.
No, we're not moving on.
I no longer do that.
Let's see how she does. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me change it a little bit.
All right, do it.
Okay. It has to be completely surprised. Okay.
I'm getting nervous.
No, you got to answer it like you.
I'm not even on stage.
I hope you answer it right.
Just a couple thousand people watching and listening. No biggie.
Don't make us look dumb, girl. Don't make us look dumb.
All right, let's see.
Okay, this is a pretty common one. If someone was to say that pageant girls are superficial and not intelligent, what would you tell them?
I'd say I have a degree in
right into the camera, Marisol.
I have a degree in interpreting. Yep. I've owned several businesses. I continue to open businesses. Don't let my beauty fool you.
Ooh. Now that was
so sultry too. I was expecting more of the you know, the Cardi.
You just gotta like let them know right now.
That's right. Don't fuck with me.
Don't let my appearance fool you.
It's a pretty good answer, honestly.
I like it. I like it.
Good delivery too on the question. Good question.
Yeah. I liked it.
That's crazy. But do you have to? Is it because I know you've also done bodybuilding competitions though, right? You did bikini.
Yeah, I did bikini.
So is it the same style
Rob,
of prepping?
I am slacking, Rob.
Bruh.
Is it a little? Because the reason why I say that is because you obviously still go to walking or posing classes.
Yeah.
You obviously don't answer any questions. But you know what I'm saying, like looking a certain way. There's certain rules like don't have nail polish on your nails.
Really?
Oh my God.
Yeah, they always say that it can be a distraction. So, or at least Christine, because that was my coach.
Okay.
So she would say try to have the most neutral nail polish so you don't bring no distraction, like no rhinestones.
That's the same.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And same thing for the toes. Like try not to have any bright
Was that NPC?
colors.
What organization did you compete for?
That was still Muscle Mania.
Oh, okay.
Because she's like, you want them to focus completely on your body versus, okay, she's wearing too big of, because Muscle Mania allows you to wear jewelry. They still allow a ring, so if you want to bedazzle, but you don't want the bedazzle to take away from the judges looking at whatever they're supposed to be judging. Does that make sense? So is it still the same?
I guess it's similar
Like hair
in some
color,
ways.
makeup? Is there rules to all that?
Are there
also?
outfits in Muscle Mania or no?
There is.
I think Muscle Mania is the most similar to pageantry.
Yeah.
NPC completely different, I feel like, because so obviously the posing is different. The way you look is different because there's pageant body or model body, and then there's fitness body.
Right.
And they're different. So the training is different. The eating is different. The posting, the walking is different. I competed in Muscle Mania. I think it was 2018, and I got second place for bikini. And then I competed in NPC a few months later, and I got like 6th place. Like I went out there not really knowing what I was doing because it was completely new to me. So that part is you're just up, turn. Okay, get off. And then with pageantry, it's like take your time.
Yeah. I hated it. I was like, wait, I'm not done posing. Like I've got 3 more to go that my coach taught me. Why am I only doing side, back? That was it. It was right side, back side, left side, walk off. Versus Muscle Mania makes you come forward. You kind of pose and then forward, and then you walk to the left of the stage. You do another pose there. You kind of walk back to the other side so you can allow all the judges kind of see you versus just head on. And then you kind of walk back in the middle. You do another 2 poses there, and then you walk off.
You're doing like the whole catwalk.
Yeah, it is what it's called. It's called the catwalk. Oh, okay. So you legit do the catwalk. And I thought that was super fair just because I felt like it allowed you to kind of flex different parts of your muscles to where you could see the definition in your lats or your quads or, whatever. So I felt like NPC didn't give you that opportunity. It was like, turn off.
Yeah.
That was it.
I felt so awkward and like lost while I was up there doing that one.
Yeah.
And then I also did the Arnold, but like the model search. I got top 7, I want to say.
Oh, that's
and we
dope.
Got to meet him.
What? Yeah. That's
the
cool.
Arnold.
Yeah. Arnold is hard. I've always wanted to go. I never went.
Yeah, same.
I never
went to Olympia either. I always wanted to experience it.
Yeah, same. I only wanted to go because I wanted to see DLB.
Same.
That's always been my thing. I just
Who's
been
DLB?
Dana Lynn Bailey.
That's my
God.
I need
that's
to
my
Google this.
soulmate.
Okay.
I think they're
have to Google
having
this person.
something, right? Like a get-together, not a get-together, but like a little, I don't know what they call them, convention?
Oh, really?
Not
Are they?
Convention, something.
Like a
in
workshop
Dallas?
in Dallas?
I
Really?
think so. It's
Ooh, I
coming
would
up.
love to have gone.
when?
But yeah, for real.
I'll look into it. I'll
So before I kicked off my bodybuilding competition, like anybody, I'm sure, you know how you have to kind of get yourself into this, like, I have to do it. Kind of like I told you yesterday, Rob. I was like, I feel like I need a week to concentrate and
You
stuff.
gotta psych yourself out.
Yeah. So
Get in the
I
zone.
went to her camp that she would have at their very first building in Pennsylvania. And I went there because not only were they all about their fitness, but they were also about their hustle and their entrepreneurship. So to watch their warehouse be where they worked out of, where they also printed their shirts and they had their store, it was insane to me,
The original Warehouse gym, right?
The original Warehouse gym, yeah.
That's cool.
And it was such a motivation. I left there feeling like, you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
Like you should probably push just a tad bit. But I discovered her. I had never heard of her. I discovered her because I was looking for workouts on YouTube. I was tired. I did not want a female workout. Like,
What is it? What's a female workout?
like everybody that works out
Like
wants
booty
to do
thrusters
wants to do the legs, the butt, and it's like everybody. Oh, in no joke, even when I was a personal trainer, everybody would be like, "I want to work on my butt." And I'm like, okay, let me just tell you what that's going to take. You know what I'm saying? You think that a few squats is going to get you that kind of booty? No, it's a muscle. It's if it's currently flat, you have to work at making it do this, just like your bicep. It's pretty flat for everybody until you work it out and you can pop it out. You know what I'm saying? And there's other muscles that need to be developed to push it up. And I'm like, it's a whole explaining thing, right? So anyway, I was tired of finding, that's all I would find is booty, how to grow your booty 101 or like, you know what I'm saying? It was never like, and then I put, I think I put like female bodybuilder on there or something like that. And she came up and it was one of her first videos when they were sponsored by, which I asked the question at the Warehouse camp or whatever. So they were promoting these things for like working out at the gym that you could attach, and it was like for the shoulders and everything. And her shoulders are monsters, And so I asked about them. She goes, so somewhere or the other, they got fucked by this company. So that company screwed them over to where DLB didn't get what she was supposed to be getting. But anyway, that's how I found her. And after that, I was obsessed with her. Well, then, of course, there goes one of my friends who's also in the bodybuilding world was like, you do know she juices, right? And I'm like, do not say that about her. Do not ever talk about her that way. He's like, okay, you do I said, she's been working out for a very long time. Okay, Jason, it didn't just happen. And he was like, Okay, well, I'm not going to go ahead and
burst your bubble.
But I'm telling you right now, she juices. She does something. She doesn't do the extreme. It might be a little bit of clan with a little mix of something else so that she looks not too crazy and not too small. But in person, she doesn't look as big as she does on video.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy about it. That's why to me, it was almost like yes and no. And she also, you know what I'm saying, doesn't ever eat off a menu.
She's
her
super
entire
disciplined.
life.
Yeah.
And she said the reason why is because at any moment a magazine or somebody could call and ask if you would be, on the magazine.
Goodness.
And you have to be prepared. You can't say like, hey, can you give me 6 weeks?
Gotta be prepared, Marissa.
Yeah.
Damn it. I got a lot of work to do.
Okay, well, when that's your only job, then I guess,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Moving forward after that, how did you get started with the supplements? What made you start your own supplement company? What influenced that whole thing? But obviously because you were doing the fitness competitions, but what made you go that route? Because you did beauty, so you could have easily gone in through the beauty route as well.
Right. Well,
And you still can.
Yeah.
If you want to dibble and dabble.
yeah,
Dibble
I'm
and dabble.
can't talk about it yet, but maybe.
It's coming.
No, but people would always ask me when I was getting ready to compete, because I competed for like 2 years, either pageantry or fitness. And they would ask me, hey, do you have a protein? You should come out with your own protein. And I was like, no, I don't even know where or how, or I don't, no. I was like, maybe in the future. And when COVID happened, I had been laid off a few months before, and I had saved up money because I knew when I got the job, they were like, this job is only until November. And I was like, okay, so saving mode. So that's what I did. And then when COVID hit, I couldn't go anywhere. I was just in the house. I was like, this is the time to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I don't have to be anywhere. I have nothing else to do. I have the money. I was like, so I started researching. And then my boyfriend, he used to work at a supplement store when he was younger, and he still kept in touch with those people. So he put me in contact with them, and then I emailed the guy, and then we just went from there.
Wow.
Cool.
That is
It's
amazing.
who you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so now, do you have it in any of the supplement stores yet, or is it just online?
I'm sold out right now.
You're sold out,
I've been
right?
sold out for a while.
That's a great problem to have.
Yeah.
Shit.
Amazing.
That's nothing to be upset about. I'd be like,
Yes,
hell
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Great.
But-
I ain't got no inventory. Fuck yeah.
But hopefully in 6 weeks. I'm hoping to restock in 6 weeks.
Okay.
But is it only online, or is it also at a supplement store?
Right now it's online, and it's at Nutrition Depot in Pearland.
Okay.
And then,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then we're thinking about going to Advanced Nutrition in Lee Jackson as well. And then just start once,
it's
once I
protein.
have
There.
the product.
Yep.
It's protein. You also have the collagen, and what
So
else?
I don't have protein. I have... So I didn't go that route.
Oh, okay.
So I was trying to think what supplement to come out with, and I was thinking, something that I myself use, collagen. It's fitness related. It's beauty related.
Sure.
I was like, bring both worlds
Together.
Yeah. So I did that, and then I did an immune booster.
Oh,
Yeah, I like that. That's important.
What was important to you in when you decided to make these products? Like, what was something that you knew for sure you saw was lacking out there when you were creating these supplements?
Well, there's a lot of unhealthy stuff out there. And a lot of people think that because someone looks fit, it means that they're healthy. And a lot of the times that's not the case.
Yeah.
So I wanted to focus on health. Obviously, we all want to look good. So I wanted that to be a part of it too. And then for the collagen, I was trying to figure out how to make it different. And I saw my brother come home one day, and he had collagen, he had biotin, and he had vitamin C. He was like, I'm trying to grow my beard.
That's funny.
Hardcore.
Pete, so you might need to listen to this
right.
podcast. 'cause
Did you
he's
tell
always-
him if you don't have it, you just don't have it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
I'm
I was
kidding.
like,
I'm kidding.
I was like, idea.
I told Pete the other day, before I had my eyebrows microbladed, someone had said to use Rogaine on your eyebrows, and it'll help grow it out. But you have to just legit use it with the Q-tip, the shape of your eyebrow.
Ooh,
Otherwise,
that's too much
you're
work.
going to grow hair like,
On your damn
And I was like,
forehead.
my eyebrows are like Rob's, but probably
Perfect?
a little bit less.
I have perfect eyebrows.
Yes, he
Less,
does.
but a little bit
Thanks.
less hair than him.
Bless.
Naturally.
Interesting.
So I have
So yours are tattooed, right?
mine are microbladed. Mine were so I have like I grow
Is that the term, microbladed?
That's
Is-
that ass
is-
taking,
yeah.
girl. No hair.
my legs.
Aztec.
I shave my legs like maybe once a month.
It's that Spanish side that gets us all hairy.
Are you Aztec?
I'm hairy, boo.
No, you're not.
Well, as time has gone on.
I was worse than that.
Girl, but this was bad.
You got laser?
I got laser, yeah, but it was bad.
But you know what's funny though? I don't grow hair like on my arms, right? Like no eyebrows and barely any on my leg. Literally, I do one stripe, one swab like this, and I'm done, right?
Yeah.
And it's only in this inner part,
and
that's it. My underarms. Who the fuck wants hair in their underarms? And
Nobody.
It's the one place.
Right now, a lot of women apparently.
That is a trend. That is a trend.
They're bringing
Can you
it
believe
back.
that?
Feminist.
Yep.
I know. We're gonna get into that. Don't worry, Brianda. I wanted to have you on here because Marissa was like, "What is it? What is that?" But before we go into that, now you're also involved with the tequila. In addition to, I know, right? That's why I said she needs to be on here because she is.
Before we get into the tequila, I actually have a question before that because that's most recently, right?
Right.
What was the show you were on? Because
on Telemundo.
yeah. Because that was when her and I, so she was I don't even know honestly how we met. I don't know if Natalia brought you in or something.
I want to say Instagram.
It might have been Instagram, but she came in and I had the cryotherapy facilities. She was prepping for pageants and bodybuilding competitions, would come in all the time. And she became like, we made her a sponsored athlete. So she'd come and post and do videos and stuff. And we'd always have conversations when you're freezing your ass off, right? She's like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this TV show, but you're struggling with like actual career versus trying to show out. What happened with that?
So I used to be a safety director. So I used to work out in the chemical plants. And so it wasn't where I like wanted to be, but it's kind of where I ended up. And it was a good job. So I was like, I'll do it.
I bet all the guys were just drooling.
Yeah, right?
Because my husband works in the chemical plants. And honey, when there's like
gonna go back home mad as fuck. I says, so was Brianda there?
No, when there's like 2-3 women, they're all like, all you hear about is this one safety bitch.
Yeah, my sister, when my sister goes out to the plant, they're always like, she's like, I'm so over these guys. Like one of them will be like, do you have any plans tonight? What are you doing? What are you doing? My sister's like, listen,
I'm counting my
I can
coins,
hire you
bitch.
and I can fire you. There's no connection here. So, no. You know what I'm saying?
I love
It's like
it.
she just does not. She's like,
Which one do you want?
she's like, I know how much this guy makes anyway because he's part of my payroll. So, yeah. And it's hilarious.
goodbye.
Yeah. When
What a
she
power
says
move.
that, right?
Damn.
It's almost one of those answers that you give at the pageant.
Yeah.
So what would you say?
What would you say you do?
So you were in safety.
Yeah.
And then?
So I was in that. And then it was a good job. I like the people I work with. They weren't like that. They weren't
gross. Yeah.
They were electrical engineers. So it was a different type of environment.
Yeah.
Sometimes I did go out in the field and sometimes I did come across those kind of people. But for the most part, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was Miss Houston Latina. I was about to crown the new queen. My year was about to be up. And I was getting ready for Europa. That's the NPC one that I did. So I was posting on Instagram like crazy. People were like, photographers like, hey, you want to do a photo shoot? I was like, yes, because I don't know when I'm going to look like this again.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to do this again. So pictures, videos, everything. And then I get a DM from a producer or a guy saying that he was a producer
which is sketchy, I'm sure.
Yeah, saying that they had this show coming up, that he thought it would be great for it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I remember I was at my desk and I opened it and I was like, ha. I was like, you're right. And then I, went back to work and I was writing policies. As I'm sitting there writing policies, I'm like,
let me reply.
yeah.
Let me see what he's really
What kind of show are we talking about?
I was like, you know what? I was like, I lose nothing by calling him.
Yeah.
So I went outside, I called him. And he was like, no, he was like, it's legit. He was like, because Exatlón Mexico had already aired their first season. He was like, go on YouTube, look up Exatlón Mexico. This is going to be Exatlón USA. It's in Dominican Republic. It's on an island. He was like, kind of like Survivor / Ninja Warrior. He was like, you're going to be doing obstacle courses.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, look, okay. I was like, I'm going to check it out. I was like, I'll call you back. Hung up with him, went back to my computer, started looking up stuff. And I was like, oh, wow. I was like, this is for real.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not a scam. So I told him, I was like, okay. I was like, I'll do it. And he was like, okay. He was like, we have tryouts the weekend that I was competing.
Oh,
at
no.
Europa. Yeah. And I was like, I can't. I think I have a competition. And he was like, okay. He was like, just send me a video of you doing an obstacle course and you're in.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Basically. So I didn't even have to do tryouts.
Doing this competition is an obstacle course, my G.
Right?
So that should be enough.
Videotape me.
Yeah. So I sent him a video, and he was like, okay, yeah. And I showed up, and everybody had gone through it. It was just Kenny, the Army soldier, and myself who didn't go to tryouts. So everybody else actually went through tryouts. And when we got there the day of, everybody was looking at us like,
who the fuck is you?
Bitches didn't even do the tryouts.
Yeah, they were like, we didn't see you at tryout. I was like, oh. I was like,
I'm special.
You might not know who I am. You must not know.
That's because
Google
you
me.
didn't win Miss Houston Latina. Okay, maybe that's why.
Google me is the best
Sorry.
response you could give. Google.
Sorry, and then sorry, flea.
God.
And but then they all ended up being real cool, and it was crazy because I competed in Europa that one weekend, right? And then the next weekend I crowned the new queen, and then the weekend after I flew out to Dominican Republic.
Wow.
Everything was just moving so
How did that
fast.
work with your job though? Did you have to like?
That was a
quit?
conversation we
I
had
quit
for
my job.
weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I didn't know
So
what to
you
do.
quit.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
I didn't want to.
Yeah, you thought
because-
really hard about it. You almost
Yeah.
didn't take these opportunities because you didn't want to be a bad employee.
Well, not
Yeah.
only that, it's probably security, right?
That
You
too.
know, you've got
Yeah.
good insurance. Your salary is
Yeah.
great. You know, it's probably providing whatever it is, the lifestyle that you're
Yeah.
living. So it's kind of like, it's got to be hard to make that decision.
Yeah.
To
And then I was single, so I didn't have like someone to be like, or be like, oh, well, my boyfriend's works or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was just me. So I thought about it, for a long time.
Damn, that's crazy.
And I told them, I was like, okay, what if? And they're like, Brianda, they're like, we need you here. Like, we need a safety. We can't just, because I was the only safety for the company. I was like, okay. I was like, what if? I was like, I'm gone for 2 weeks. And then I don't come back. I was like, then hire somebody else. I was like, just wait for me 2 weeks. And they were like, okay.
oh, that was nice of
that's
them.
awesome.
Shit, yeah, that's
And then
'cause
you never
not
came
very
back.
many companies will do that. Because
Well-
not many of them will do that.
Well, and then I got eliminated the second week. But you can't come back right after because people don't know that you've been eliminated because the show, because we film a week ahead.
Okay, got it.
So I was gone for 3 weeks. And then after that, I was still gone I just did stuff for another week. And then when I came back, they had already hired someone. And I was like, oh, I guess it wasn't meant to be.
Yep.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then what happened? So what? That was the end of it, of your TV career? Like you didn't try to I would have been like, shit, this was a good little,
experience.
Let me try this again.
I wanted to keep doing it, but then
Put me on Love and Hip Hop.
You would say that.
we just had a family thing with my brother. He went through some stuff. And
Yeah.
it was like just personal. And so I was like, I don't want TV around
Sure,
us.
sure,
So I was
sure,
just
yeah.
like, they had asked me to go back, and I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, I can't. I was like, and can y'all not? Because they were like, oh, we want to, meet up and record some stuff. And I was like, I'm sorry, I
Yeah, I
can't.
can't do that right now.
Yeah. So we dealt with that for about 6 months. And then I started working at a new construction job in Freeport. And then after he came back, we were all working there. Like a lot of my family was working there. So then I was just there for a while. And then that's whenever COVID hit. And then that's when I was like, okay, now I have time.
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Do you think you want to go back
To
to TV? Like, would you like to try to open that door again? Like, to see if there's anything there? No?
I feel like it depends because, okay, so when I went, I was very lean. I had just done Europa, and I was like, I never did any functional training. So I was not like in shape to be doing stuff like that. And I knew it, but I was like, you know what? I was like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yep.
I was like, even if I get out the first week, I don't care. I can at least say I did it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I went, but yeah, I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't prepared for it at all. So I feel like if I ever was to go back, I would want to take some time and train and kind of redeem
What
myself.
about Naked and Afraid? Would you do Naked and Afraid?
No.
You've never have you ever seen it?
I haven't.
You need to watch it because they're out there surviving naked.
But not
know.
just
I
for
don't
the
think
sense
so.
of not so much of just doing like a competition show. I'm talking about just in general. Are you not interested in doing TV period? Like,
I think it would depend
Yeah.
what it is.
What about like
Yeah.
commercials?
Oh, yeah.
because Ilse, I know, was like, she went that route and then she felt like it wasn't for her.
Okay.
So remember she said that on the podcast. She was like, she thought that's what she wanted. And then it was like, she kind of got a taste of it and was like, Yeah, I don't know about. Yeah, that's what she said. She said, "This is not for me. That's not the side of it I want to be on." So she's more behind the scenes now. She realized it's what she enjoyed. But that's that's why I was asking. Like, did you feel like this was? Yeah, it was fun while I did it.
Yeah, I feel
more
like it
that.
was fun.
A good experience.
I can at least say, tell my
that
kids like, I did this.
And you made it to the second week, not just the first week.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then we went back for the final, but it's. I feel like it's a different world. And then one of the things I didn't really like that much was how people are so in your business. So now it has calmed down because it's been a few years since I did it. So now they probably don't even remember me. But like right then and there, it's like all up in your business, and it's like, okay, I like the people who are being positive and supportive, and the nosy people, it's like I don't really owe you an explanation for anything. I do.
Did you have any like big names on your season, like big names, influencers or people?
Oh yeah.
Who was on there?
Jorge.
That's right. Yeah. Who else? Was there any big girls?
Yarishna.
Yeah.
Yarishna.
That's right.
What kind of name? What was
You
her
know who
name?
that is if you see her on Instagram.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Yarishna.
Yarishna.
Yari.
Yeah.
She's doing wellness now, but she
Dude.
was IFBB pro for a while.
I'll show you. I'll find a picture of it. She's
when you
like,
show me.
if you can
Okay,
find a
I'll let
picture.
you
I'm
know.
surprised you
find a
don't follow
picture.
her. She's
Yarishna. What is she?
Like,
Russian?
no. She's like Dominican or something, isn't she?
Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Bro.
She's fired.
Shit.
Bro.
Wow. Okay.
this
I hate
is her.
bitches like that. I do follow her.
Yeah, I know. I knew you did.
I do follow her.
Son of a
Yeah,
bitch.
I do.
Oh my goodness.
She's just one of those people where you just like, it's almost like Paige Hathaway. Like almost
Yeah,
everybody knows who Paige
yeah,
Hathaway
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Michelle,
Babe, if you're
Michelle
listening, do not
Lewin.
Google Yarishna. Don't do it.
Do what?
What?
Michelle Lewin and her husband were on there too.
Oh, really?
I had already been eliminated, and I was like, no.
Dude, she was like one of my first influencer people crushes.
Yeah?
Michelle.
the first
Oh,
people I
dude.
started following too.
I don't know who that is.
Michelle Lewin?
Oh, Michelle Lewin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lately I haven't been digging her.
Well, I stopped following her a long time ago.
I haven't been
What
digging her
happened? Did she
lately.
get
I don't know. I think her husband was sick or something like that, and that's when I started kind of digging her again. But for a little bit, I was just like, she was doing too much for me on the internet. And then when her husband, I don't know what happened to him, he's sick or something. Then I was like, damn, that's fucked up. I feel like I could feel like
Yeah. must
that
be hard.
anxiety, not anxiety, just like that desperation for her husband to get better and make it through this surgery.
Oh,
I
damn.
felt it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like she put herself aside. You know what I'm saying? Like her. I mean, that's her career. You know,
Yeah.
this doing this stuff on Instagram and being sponsored and so
Yeah.
forth. And so a lot of her posts were about the recovery of her husband and how he was doing and how he came out of it and all this and that.
Yeah.
I was like,
So
okay.
he made it.
Yeah.
He made it.
Thank
He just
goodness.
got back home, I think, like
think
recently
so,
after
yeah.
her last post. Yeah, that's how much I follow her.
Damn.
But at first, at the beginning, I loved her. And then kind of in the middle, I was just kind of like, she's too much.
She lost you for a little
yeah,
bit.
for a little
Yeah.
bit. And she was still on my follows, but then it was like, then I saw that. I was like, damn, that's fucked up. I think it was like some kind of brain issue.
Fuck.
I don't
Yeah,
remember, to be
it was
honest.
something like that. I was just like, yeah, it probably would be pretty damn like devastated for some shit like that to happen. Yeah,
She
for
kept it
sure.
together though. She looks
did.
great.
She looks great.
A lot of people would have fallen off.
For sure. Yeah, she still looks the same.
Yeah. I
She
think she
doesn't
was saying
roll.
that she was trying to keep her mind busy.
Yeah, I
So she
can
was
see.
trying to
Yeah,
keep
you
doing
have to. Because
everything. Yeah.
at one point, she showed a video that was too much. I couldn't be that personal, but I guess when you feel like the people that follow you
Yeah.
are like they know you, you probably do share. But I can't share that much. I can share a little bit, but that's
Just
too,
enough.
Just enough. That's too personal for me. I feel like this needs to be something.
Yeah.
Me and my family kind of handle. But he was like with tubes and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to swipe that. I don't want to watch that. That's just scary. I feel it. Like, I don't know. I'm just too.
Meanwhile, y'all are watching all these stories on YouTube of like
yesterday I told
druggies
Marissa-
and homeless people.
I told Marissa yesterday, I said, I'm such a sucker because I've been going back and forth with the guy through email about this baby.
Marisol.
I know.
Hold on. See, this is where I draw the line.
Yeah, thank you.
'Cause-
She's about to go adopt like a crack baby or something. Legit, through a YouTube comment.
But she just loves people. She's got a big heart.
That's why we have a podcast to help you through our messages on the podcast.
I said,
But she's
Marissa-
like, who can I help? Give
I
me
was
that
like,
baby.
Marissa,
I'm
why am I
adopting you.
such a sucker? I was like, I just feel right now the conversation is that I said, but the baby's in Arizona, Phoenix. I'm not flying to Phoenix. And secondly, Here's the other thing that I thought about. So if I were a temporary parent for this baby, right?
Or you could help find them a parent,
right? Like I've thought about this. So if I were a temporary parent, and let's just say this girl decides she wants to get clean, the state will give the baby back to her. And here we've all become attached to this baby because we're going to have the baby when it's delivered. Like when it's born, you can go pick it up because she can authorize and say, I authorize this person to take my baby and have custody until I'm either better, or she can say, I don't want nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if she said I want nothing to do with this baby,
so then
I'd be like, great. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Cool. You know what I'm saying? Then I don't have nothing to deal with you. Although I wouldn't lie to this baby either. Like I wouldn't say, like, I'd say your mom was a crackhead. I would say that. I would have to let them know. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point you have to know, because here's the thing. It could be a risk that maybe this child maybe later, like hereditarily, like just kind of starts to pick up on the drugs, and because they're going to have to go through detox too, right? When they're born.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Oh, you know? And a baby detoxing after they're born when they're addicted to crack is one of the most terrifying
things. If you've never seen that, watch that kind of YouTube, Rob.
No, I can't. You know what I'd rather do? Talk about tequila. So, Brianda, tell us about...
Girl, how did we do this?
I know.
We were talking about tequila.
I know.
Let's segue back.
Really. No, really. How did you end up doing that too?
You got to do a better job of controlling this shit.
You guys are wild. There's 3 all this time.
How did you get involved with that?
So my cousin, it's his.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He just called me. He was like, hey, we're going to Guadalajara. Or actually, his friend had messaged me. He was like, hey, Ever, that's his name, needs a model for the tequila. Do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, sure. We hadn't talked in forever. I hadn't seen him in forever. But I was like, hey, your family, you're starting a business. I'm all for supporting you.
Sure.
So I talked to him, and he was like, hey, we're going to Guadalajara. Do you want to go? And I was like, yeah. I was all for it. And then, so we went. We did a photo shoot, and we got to do the distillery tour, where you do that. And then I tried the tequila. I'm going to tell you, it's really good.
Yeah.
It does hit you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then after that, he was like, do you want to work with me? And I was like, okay. I was like, yeah.
Wow. So what is your role in just helping promote and being like the
brand
face
ambassador?
Brand ambassador?
That, and then just everything behind the scenes as well. Because it's mainly, because he has 2 other investors, his brother and then a friend. But him and I do most of the stuff right now.
Wow.
Yeah, so everything behind.
So you're learning the ins and outs of the spirits world.
Yeah.
Wow, that is badass.
Yeah.
You can never have too many hustles, man.
No.
Yeah, I
you can never have too many hustles.
Yeah.
Never.
Because if one's not pandemic proof, hopefully the other ones are.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think during the pandemic, a lot of people who, whatever it is that you did for a living, made you realize, like, I got to find something that's pandemic proof. Yeah. Joey Diaz kind of talked about that a lot. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of comedians. I mean, imagine them if they're only comedians and nothing else.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for comedians. Because
but that's why Joe Rogan's coming to the rescue, girl.
I know, but even then, he's not just going to let... It doesn't work like that. Not anybody can just go into a comedy club. You just don't get allowed stage time. That's why you start off at bars, quinceañeras, weddings, baby showers,
backyards.
You know what I'm saying, backyards, because you just... It's tough out there for these guys, you know what I'm saying? And they do it for very little money. Although when Pete said, if you think about it, it's 10 minutes that they do, 15 minutes that they do. I guess it is not bad for the amount of time. You know what I'm saying? That let's just say hypothetically, you pay a comedian $250 for 20 minutes. I don't know anybody that makes $250 unless you're a prostitute and you're giving head or something. And maybe they might pay you.
You could have said Warren Buffett, Bill Gates. No, we went with giving head.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Something along those lines. Where it's quick and easy. I mean, who can make quick and easy money in 20 minutes?
Giving head is not easy, girl.
But
everybody in this room, every woman in this room can make some money real quick if they wanted to.
But the prep, remember, I mean, all the work that they do to prepare.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, that's a lot of work.
It's going through a lot of child trauma, so that they have the material. Trust me.
To quote the great Marissa,
they have the material to have plenty to talk about, and so it's just crazy because if you're not in that world and you don't understand it, you know, I never understood like the whole purity of it. Like it's just like, get over it, get over yourself. It's like it doesn't need to be so strict, but when you kind of like do it for a living, it's like, okay, I understand now why they need to have that kind of discipline. You know what I'm saying? And some of them just sabotage their career just because they're not disciplined in life in general. Yeah. Because they can't get out of that rut. You know what I'm saying? They can't get out of that, maybe drinking too much, doing the partying, doing the drugs, because that's part of the whole. It's like they're rock stars. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that.
People are clapping for you, and it gets addicting.
My mind went to organization because you were talking about that, and we talked a lot about that yesterday. How organized is your day / life right now, or unorganized? Maybe you're on Marissa's boat. I don't know.
I'm only good at being creative, man. I am not good at scheduling things.
Yeah, I'm the most unorganized person.
See?
I was just telling my cousin, I was like, I think I need a personal assistant because, like, my podcast, I haven't done it anymore. I did the tequila podcast, and then I haven't been able to do it again because life is busy. Yeah. So I'm like, I think I need a personal assistant to help me.
I just approached somebody about that too.
Yeah.
I was like,
Good
how
for
do
you
feel about? She's like, okay, we'll talk about it. I was like, all right, cool.
Let me see how unorganized you are and how much work this is going to be.
Seems like she's organized, so that's the only reason why I reached out.
Yeah,
in order for me, do you know that's why I've never been able to hire a personal assistant?
You're very organized?
I'm very organized, but I've never found someone that could just be even more, you know, but I'm going to tell y'all somebody who's on it. And I'm not just saying that because Rob is here. But Dawn is motherfucking
I was going to tell you, damn, your wife is fine. She posted a picture yesterday or something.
Thanks.
I was like, oh, go Rob.
Have you seen her booty though?
No, but I heard about it.
Yeah. That's why Rob's with her.
100%. 100%. From day one. She's also a former competitor, and she never lost that booty.
And it's real. Mm-hmm. It ain't injected.
And she's only half white, half Asian. It's weird. It's weird.
Right?
Half white, half Asian? That is a good little mix.
That's right.
Go,
the
boy.
best egg rolls, spring rolls you'll ever eat. I'm saying, man.
Hey, with country fried chicken on the side.
100%.
Fried chicken and mashed potatoes on the side,
Dude,
goddammit.
find me. She loves chicken fried steak and spring rolls. Like, who else is gonna do that?
Have you ever been to Vietopia?
No.
Oh my God, it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah?
Y'all need to go.
Where is that?
59 and Greenway.
That's not far.
Something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fucking great. Y'all got to do it.
Really?
That sounds like the milk that Mariswole drinks.
And the avocado rolls, they're fucking fantastic. I'm sorry.
Dawn was also on the MasterChef competition on TV.
Twice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
How did you get so lucky, bro?
And she won't be on. She won't come on my podcast.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
She won't come on.
That's not true. She's super down. That one day, just the one day.
Down.
Yeah, she's super down. But the one day that I think you couldn't be here, something
happened.
She couldn't be here either. So I was like, all right, that's when we might start. Like, looks like it's just you and I. And those are great podcasts, by the way.
Yeah,
you give her
good.
one
I just
subject.
finished the last one. It was fucking fantastic. And Rob is like, he said something. He's always got these little gems that he drops. He's like, I wish we could just take that and bottle it up and put it in a whatever and sprinkle it on people and something.
Well, so many people are unhappy right now. We were talking about love and business and all that kind of stuff. It's just like, it's, you know, if you have a partner, which you have a boyfriend now, everyone here's married. Imagine trying to build these empires up with them, and then all of a sudden that person's gone. Like, those empires are going to crumble.
Yeah, man. It's hard.
Yeah, for sure.
He has a lot of help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, and you've allowed that to happen now, right? Because we talked about, one of the things that Brianda and I talked about on her podcast was how before, and I said this yesterday on the podcast, there was no way that when my husband, now then boyfriend, first moved in with me, I wouldn't let him pay any bills in my apartment because I didn't want him to have any say in my house.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I felt like, if I want you to leave, I want you to be able to leave when I say you're going to leave. You know what I'm saying? If I don't like something you did.
I mean, I would have let you pay, but I still would have made you leave. You still got to go, bitch.
My attitude was always like, for what? So that you can throw in my face later that you said like, oh, I paid your car or I paid a rent or something like that.
That sounds like some trauma, girl.
And so,
trauma.
You know what's weird though?
Do you?
I had it, yeah.
I've never had anybody like fuck me over like that to where it was like somebody threw it in my face because no one's ever taken care of me. Yeah. Not even my damn parents. You know what I'm saying? Like my parents didn't. I would always ask like, did y'all not think I was going to go to school after I graduated? Why didn't y'all create a college fund for me and my sister. Now my sister didn't have to worry about it. They both came to me and said, yeah, so your sister's about to start college, so we can no longer help. I'm like, what? I'm like, y'all only help with books anyway, so y'all can't even do that anymore? She's like, yeah, no, we can't. I was like, oh, this is so effed up. They're like, you can do it anyway. You have a job. I'm like, she doesn't have one. I said, exactly. So why can't she get a job? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't she also do that? You know?
She's younger than you?
She's younger than me. But I didn't help her. I didn't help either. You know what I'm saying? If my sister needed anything, it was like, you don't ask nobody for shit. You know what I'm saying? You got me, you got mom. You know, that was my attitude too. You know what I'm saying? So I babied her big time, you know what I'm saying? Also, to where now it annoys me because she won't let me help her. Yeah, it annoys me. I'm just like, I told my mom, I was like, she's got such a bad attitude. She's like, she does it to me too. I'm like, and then I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, it's probably because she feels like she's grown. Like, she doesn't need us. She's in town. Moving out of her townhome, right? She's got to be out by April, but she's trying to get ahead of it. And so, anyway, I told her, I said, okay, well, I'll be there Wednesday to help you. She's like, no, I don't need your help. I was like, yeah, you do. And she's like, no.
What are you going to do?
Well, help her pack.
That's a very good.
No.
Marissa said what I was thinking. Yeah.
No, well, I mean, I have no problem lifting. That's why it's like when someone's like, you can't lift that. I'm like, y'all must not watch my workout videos. Like, I mean, I know my limit. Exactly. I mean, I know my limit. I know what I can and can't do. I'm not going to try to like show off, you know, like my baby is important. But I was like, so I can't go. She's like, I have 3 other people wanting to come help me. She's like, don't worry about it. She's like, I don't need you to come.
Is she moving back to Houston?
No, she had a place here and in Boston.
Oh, okay.
So,
got it.
But she got that job in Boston right when she had got that townhome. Ooh. So she was paying rent here and paying rent over there. Yeesh. So yeah, so she's about to get out finally, and then she had my cousin move in, so he was paying part of the. It's like, so do you need a place to stay? Because it's empty. So that's why I bought her bed. Never been slept on. She bought it. She got the job, and she had to leave, and then she had to go buy new furniture at her new place in Boston. So her furniture's brand spanking new. So it's like it's never been sat on, never been laid on, nothing. So I was like, okay, I'll buy your bed from you. Shit. I was like, I've been wanting to get Mickey a new bed. Then I told Rob, I was like, hey, y'all are spare bedroom. You need another bed because I'm selling this one over here. But anyway, we kind of talked about this whole like feminist thing, and it's like, what is it really? Like, what is it? There's so many levels of feminism, right? And you and I have talked about it, and it's kind of like even when I told Brianda, she's like, what is all this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never even heard of that. Me either.
Maybe you should bring on a hardcore feminist so we can laugh at her.
You want to throw up on the podcast? Just throw up into our microphones.
But listen, what I don't get is like being a feminist doesn't help us at all. Does that make sense? Like, there's nothing
what
in
is it?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
What does it mean to? Better question for the listeners. What does it mean to y'all? Like, what does being a feminist mean?
To me, being a feminist is not probably what is out there. For me personally, a feminist is definitely for me more it's women and more of a women empowerment. For me, for me being a feminist is like, what can I do to help, like to empower other women? That's what all it means to me. To me, it does not mean I'm going to go bash men. You know what I'm saying? For
me, I feel like when I think of the definition of feminist, and I could be wrong because I'm sure there's a lot of definitions, but I think it's like man hate.
Yes.
I don't know.
That's what it's become. I
don't know. It seems that way. Like we're always in competition with men. No matter if it has to do with like money or like the roles or what we do and the way we can push our bodies to do certain things, or in the military, or I don't know. I don't know. It just
the first time I heard
like
that
a man
word,
hate thing.
Yeah,
but maybe I'm tripping.
I don't know. What is it, Rob?
Well, go ahead, Brianda.
I was going to say the first time I heard that word was at work. I was safety director, so I was the boss of some men, you know, and I had bought my house. I didn't have a boyfriend. I was just like doing it all on my own.
You didn't feel like a man was your competition because you're already doing your fucking thing.
Yeah, and I remember a guy asked me, he was like, "Are you a feminist?" And I was like, what is that? I didn't even know what it was. And he was like, it was like, well, like, do you believe in like equal rights for women? And I was like, yeah, I do. And he was like, oh, okay. And that's all I knew.
Interesting.
That's
That was the first time you really heard anybody say that? Wow.
Yeah.
But of course, I believe in whatever you want to do. You should, you know.
I feel like okay, I'm not saying there's no such thing as inequality, right? But I feel like just the same way that we fight to do whatever we want, you can fight for your salary. And if them motherfuckers don't want to pay you what you're asking for, then it's time to find another company that is willing to pay you your worth, and or you start your own shit. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I feel. I never forget when I worked at the last job, I was with corporate America. I don't know. I talked about this, I think, on y'all's podcast, Rob, where I was like, this guy that I knew was like, what? They're paying you how much? And I was like, what? Why would you accept a job for that little? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. I was like, I had the customer service experience. I didn't have 1 year, 2 years. I had like 8, 9 years.
So you negotiated, which a lot of women
For sure.
don't do.
I'm not working here. There's plenty of jobs out there. I'll keep doing what I was doing on the side until I find who's going to pay me what I'm asking for. Yep. Now, if I didn't have the experience, I wasn't bilingual, I didn't know how to use the software that your company uses, right? Then okay, then I feel like you're gonna have to work with them until you get there, and then it's like your annual or your quarterly review or however this company does. Then you sit there and be like, well, you know, now I feel like I've kind of like I'm there and I've proven myself. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I need to get paid more. You see what I'm saying? But for you to say that and I know that they say men get paid more than women. But I think that it's because we're just kind of like, well, that's just how it is. No, that's not how it is. You know, it's up to you at the end of the day. I think it's up to anybody, not just a female or male. I think it's just you as an individual. If you feel that you bring a certain skill to the job, then you need to get paid for it. So if you think there's inequality, of course there is, but you can make it equal because it's your fight. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
So here's the definition, right? So feminism is a range of social movements, political movements, and ideologies that aim to define and establish the political, economic, personal, and social equity of the sexes. It's not very, I mean, that's kind of what it's kind of vague considering.
I think it started off good, like back when women didn't work or they couldn't vote. But then like we got to the point to where, okay, now we have equal rights and they're still like, no, they're still not happy.
That's a really good point because what I was reading lately is that.
Do y'all remember, and I can't remember what year this was.
If you're going to interrupt, have your story ready.
Do you remember that there was parades all around the U.S. and it was an anti-Trump parade? And I don't mean to talk about Trump, but it was like these, they did them here in Houston too. It was like these feminist parades that they did, and it was kind of like anti-Trump, grab them by the pussy. Like they all had all these. Y'all don't remember?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
that.
I do. They were all over they were all over Instagram. There were so many posts about it. Here's the thing: they were
have their shirts on.
Really? Word?
Oh. Yeah.
No, they went all out, and then they
had their hairy underarms.
Ah, gross.
And here's the thing about this whole thing: it's like, what did Trump say that was? If
he was something about grabbing a bitch by the pussy.
He said he was going to grab. It was only Rosie O'Donnell.
Right.
He was going to grab her by the pussy.
It was a reference to her.
I thought it was a hot, sexy bitch.
No, it was like an insult to fucking Rosie O'Donnell, but the media cut that shit off and only left the grabbing by the pussy part. Watch the whole thing, man. I watched this fucking video the other day, y'all,
here we go.
where they showed how they edited the whole video.
Oh, the bleach one?
Yeah, but it was so perfect where there's no little glitch to where you could watch it and it looked like it was one video like that. And then the editor broke it down and I was like, that's it. That's you can do hard. You can't really trust anything now. On the internet, I know. That's why I was like, oh my God, we're screwed. We are so screwed. If you can do this, you can do anything.
I just thought that parade was crazy. And I even had some friends of mine approach me and ask me
if you were there.
If you wanted to go march. I was going to go. And see, the last time he ran, I voted for him, and they didn't know that I did. So this was already the second time that this go around. And I didn't vote for him because he was a fucking saint. I just voted for him because I wasn't gonna vote for Hillary.
Yeah.
But I was just like, no, I'm not gonna go. And she's like, why? Women are at risk, or whatever the fuck that they were saying. I was just like, if you think that he's the first man to say some sick fucking shit about a bitch that walks by,
yeah, exactly,
you're tripping.
Like their man has probably said worse things in the locker room.
I mean,
yeah, guys, let's be real.
And you know what?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Boo, I worked for lawyers for a long time.
How do you think I got done?
Them bitches, them bitches are sick. And then, of course, I'm around my husband and men and all. And I know how they talk. Now, me, I don't think a man can compete with me because I get down and dirty when I talk. So for me, it's just like, I don't know. I don't see it as anything bad. I think we all say sick shit when nobody's looking.
I think a lot of their argument is like equal pay. I've already given my opinion about equal pay. You know what I'm saying?
You can fight for that.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
Abortion. You know what? I think it's your decision.
That's between you and
no
Jesus,
one's stopping you. No one's taking it away either. Now, when everybody was fighting about the Republicans or whatever,
Roe v. Wade.
Roe v. Wade.
They wanted to take away from you to be able to abort at 5 months. They wanted to cut the limit. So they wanted to make it where you could only abort up to 3 months.
Yeah,
which I guess would be the
was
first
trying
trimester.
To take that away from you.
I think it goes up to the second trimester or something like that.
Can I? So this was back in the day, probably 2001, 2002. A friend of mine had gotten pregnant, right? And she waited till she was like, she was just reckless, dude. She didn't try to nip it in the butt. If she was gonna keep it, cool. If she wasn't gonna keep it, I'm supportive. But she let it go till she was like 5 months. So she was.
That means this.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. That's what that means. And she was just in a bad place, and she found an abortion clinic in Louisiana. And she asked me if I could drive her over there. So I fucking drove her because she was gonna be in more of a shit fuck of a situation than she was in already. So I drove her to Louisiana. We go to the most sketchy ass fucking clinic. They gave her what she needed to start the process on her own. So that evening, me and her went to the hotel. She had to put, like, it was moss or something that she had to put in there to start opening herself up. And she had to sleep with it. And but I'll never forget when I took her back the next day. I actually walked in there with her. Boo. The lobby was with girls like you.
Damn.
They were all big, dude. And they were coming from Dallas. They were coming from everywhere to go to that little, that clinic. That was the most sickest shit that I ever saw. And it's like, nobody wants to take that right away from you, because there are some people who, sometimes you're young, you're 17, you're 18, you made a mistake, you know this is not what you're supposed to do, but you know, you have the right to do that up until 3 months. Right.
Well, that's what they were trying to fight for, to only let it allow to go up to 3 months. After 3 months, that's it. You got to keep it. So that's what I feel like sometimes we get so like in tunnel vision where we don't go and read what else this bill is about, right? Like Rob's friend who all she does is read bills. You know what I'm saying? So
God bless her.
I know, right?
Doing the Lord's work.
So you know what I'm saying? Like when you don't read something, they never said they were getting rid of abortion.
That's right.
They were trying to get rid of you being able to do up
what they were doing in Louisiana
trimester.
Yep.
Because I mean, my child has everything.
Can you feel a baby kick and stuff at 5 months?
Totally.
Oh, okay.
Man, right, I feel like this bitch was kicking me last night. I'm like, girl, you better go to sleep.
Oh, yeah. I've totally forgot, Marissa.
Yeah. And that's what I feel like. And also there's circumstances. Like I can see, like, let's just say, for example, somebody got raped. And there's women who do end up having that baby, and they love that baby to death.
Yes, of course.
I've seen stories about that before. You know what I'm saying? When I worked at the foster agency, there were plenty of children in foster care that came from rape victims.
Yeah.
They delivered them, and they just went into the
poor babies
system. Versus not saying that killing this baby, you know what I'm saying, was any better, right? But had she made the decision early on, right?
Yeah.
That baby probably wouldn't be suffering right now because those kids bounce from house to house. There's never, unless you find a great parent that's going to like go through the process of adopting a child, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be in the system for quite a bit, probably till the age of 18, you know? And what they do is when they get a job, they take a little bit from their paycheck and they put it in a savings, right, for these kids. And then when they're done, right, out of the system, they say, here's your check. And it's probably like $800, $1,000 or something like that. Yep. And then it's like, figure it out. Yep. They've never lived on their own.
Yes, girl.
It's done. You're done. The state is done taking care of you. So you've got out on the street. And so that's how these kids become homeless. Yep. So that's what I'm saying. It's like being a feminist. It's like if you don't really know what you're fighting for, if you're just fighting for, then why aren't you mad about the transgender females? You see what I'm saying? Why aren't you mad about them? If you're such a feminist, how come you're not mad? They're coming in, taking in women roles. Right? They're coming in fighting in the sport. Yeah. They're coming in being part of the sport. If you're that much of a feminist, why aren't you mad about that?
So funny enough, that's what I was going to go with when Brianda brought up, like back when women couldn't vote, all those different things, you were fighting for a certain amount of rights, right? Yes. Well, now what research has shown and data is that the groups that were fighting for those, like gay marriage was the example. Once everybody's fighting so long for gay marriage, once that was legalized, those same groups have now pivoted into trans rights. Mm-hmm. So ever since literally the day after the gay marriage was legal, everything was about trans rights now. So now you have these jobs and these organizations with a lot of money behind them that are just pivoting over to trans rights. So regular, ordinary people that are like, why is this a big deal? Don't get it. Can't really do much because you have these huge groups that are now shifting from gay to trans. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's odd.
Yeah, and it's like I've said this before. I think that you need to marry and be with the person you love. And if that means it's the same sex, then it's the same sex. That is your business. Thing, I don't know. I just don't give a shit. If you want to be gay, be gay.
And some of them don't even care. I have a cousin. He's gay. And he's like, I think gay marriage is the dumbest thing ever. He's like,
I think gay people have the right to be miserable too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, I don't believe in marriage. He was like, whether they're straight or gay. He was like, it's stupid.
I know
and there's
gay
straight
guy.
people fighting for them.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I don't need you to fight for me. I don't want that.
Or like my gay friend would say, is like, I've never asked straight people to come fight for our rights. It's like, they're like, he said there's more straight people trying to fight for gay rights than gay people trying to fight for their own rights. They just want to be
gay and happy.
I feel like if you exactly
that's all. Leave them alone.
And I just feel like sometimes I had this conversation with someone who is gay, and I said, how do you feel about the transgender women competing in the female sports? It's like, I am gay, but they lost me after they added all these extra letters to the LGBTQ community. He's like, so however that answers your question, he's like, that's how I feel. He's like, I feel like they're just, this is coming from a gay person. I'm not making this up. And I don't want to say who this person is, only because in case they listen, I don't want them to be like,
sure,
bitch, why is you talking our business? He just kind of felt like they lost me after they started adding all these extra letters to the LGBTQ community. And he's like, and they just started coming up with different sex orientation. He's like, at the end of the day, if your heart is happy with what you're doing sexually, then does there really need to be a label behind it? And I was like, that's a very good point. Does there need to be a label? Because that's what we're doing. We're putting labels on people.
Every day there's a new label.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, and it's like he said, he goes, if today you decide you want to go and try out a female, good for you. If tomorrow you feel like you want to do a man, then you did a man. If the next day you're just feeling like you want to look like a boy, then you look like a boy. That's your problem. Like, that's your issue. That's you. Mm-hmm. You deal with whatever mental issue you're having. And he was saying, but when people, he's like, it's like the media tries to make it bigger than what it is. He's like, and then he was the one that kind of brought to my attention about, although Valentine, when he came on to talk about being transgender, he said that the mental illness for transgenders is so insane. He's like, the focus should be on, let's get these transgenders some mental help. because this transition alone is something they're having to deal with. And he's like, and I just know that because he said he has a friend who's transgender, and it's like, I feel like he's more fucked up now than he was before he changed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, before it was just like, oh, I like to look like a girl, went through the whole process, and now he feels like he's miserable now. You know what I'm saying?
What happened to cross-dressers? Like, why can't you just go be dressed and then still be a man? You know what I'm saying?
They're still around.
They're still around.
Doing their shows.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think they're a little bit different. My cousin's uncle, R.I.P., he's passed now, but he used to always have drag queen shows all the time.
That is so
badass. I grew up
like RuPaul style?
Yes,
Hell
I grew
yeah.
up I grew up watching them get ready, like tucking it and getting ready. Like I learned a bunch of tricks. Like this is before the...
You learned how to tuck it?
No.
What kind of tricks you trying to learn, Marisol?
No. You know, before setting spray came about,
okay.
They would spray hairspray and then they'd walk through it, and it would, so that when they're sweating out there dancing, it's not, the makeup's not running, and it's a little tricks like that they would just, they've been doing the contouring before contouring was ever a thing. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy.
Yes, they have.
They
Now that I
have. They've
think
been
about
doing
it.
that. They've been having to do, because they're trying to look like an artist, so they had to always find ways to look like. And I mean, in Mexico, we would see this in Mexico, but some of them that would get the work done, like this one that would do Selena. I'm sorry, but he would give Selena competition with the body.
How
You know what
dare
I'm saying?
you?
I know.
You shut your dirty mouth,
I know.
Marisol.
And we're talking about Selena here. Like,
We talking about
she's
Selena
the
or J-Lo
queen.
Selena?
No, we're talking about Selena,
Okay.
not J-Lo Selena.
Even
Okay,
though
she
Selena's
looked like
brother
J-Lo.
was-
The transvestite looked like J-Lo Selena.
Transvestite or transgender?
No, transvestite, because transvestite is the ones that
Dress.
Chop
they
it.
just dress.
dress.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't
Yeah,
chop
they
it. He's a
didn't-
tucker.
Right,
He
right.
just
He's a
tucked. He was
tucker.
a tucker.
Yeah, he
Okay.
likes it.
He's a
But
tuck
the
and roll.
booty, that's when like it was different. I don't know. I don't know how long BBLs have been around, but I think that was during the time where it was more of an implant in the butt.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't, I don't think it was the fat that went transferred back there.
That's a
I don't know. I
modern
was
thing, huh?
little. So I was like 10,
Yeah.
11.
Oh,
but they had
shit.
the booty. He had the booty already. It was, he had the boobs. He just hadn't chopped it off.
Marisol will show Chingo and I pictures of what we think is a woman. Be like, hey, what do you guys think of her? And we'll be like,
I do it on purpose.
Like, ooh.
You're
yeah,
like, oh yeah, she looks good. I'm like, well, she's a man.
you sick fucks. I was like, you got us again, Marisol. Actually, wasn't one of them Kylie Jenner's makeup guy who was just in that
Yes.
accident?
Yeah, he looks just
He was in an
like her.
accident?
Dude,
I didn't know.
thrown from his car, like I just heard about it day before yesterday, right? Thrown from his car through the windshield or some shit, like in critical condition, and all she did was a swipe up story for people to donate to his fund. Bro, you mean the guy that makes you look the way you do? That's all.
But I
you
don't know
did?
if they're that's still her makeup artist anymore, because he went off and did his own thing now, because he started, I
did
think, his
he?
own makeup line
Oh,
and
I
started
don't
doing
know.
it.
But still,
Not that it matters. They were friends. It doesn't
Kylie
matter.
Jenner.
Yeah. She probably could have handled the bill herself.
Right.
Wow, that's a
Well, true.
damn
It's fucked
fucking
up.
shame.
It is. There's people like that, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah, but
Back-
his
back
body
to
looked just
tucking
like
dicks.
hers.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. His body was like, what? What is
it
this?
hanging?
What kind of illusion is this?
And then
It's just like her.
Marissa, remember that video I sent you of that guy, of the plastic surgeon doctor?
Yes.
Okay, so he took Kylie Jenner's picture as a reference of what she wanted to look like. She wasn't a big girl. She was just a more like, just probably like maybe a mom who's had a few kids and just,
It's okay to
she's
say
thick.
me. It's okay to say me. It's okay. She sent it to me.
Marissa.
She's like, here, do this.
No, I didn't. I said, oh my God, because he's just in there like answering Q&A questions, and he's like,
Oh, I can't watch
That's
that.
the
yeah, I can't either, dude. It gives my palms are getting
stabby
sweaty.
part.
I'll just be like, and he's like doing it with the hand. He's like, okay.
He's like, yeah. What we
okay.
gonna eat for lunch?
Yeah.
Girl, what we eating?
Plenty of lunch right here.
Meanwhile, he's like showing you all the fat that's going to be inserted, and he's got the syringes of like the fat that he's gonna.
She was looking good though on that table.
She was looking good.
She was.
You know what?
looking
She,
good.
Listen
let me
to what
tell
you just said.
No, because let me tell you why.
I mean, when
she
you-
wasn't doing exaggerated. It looked like she
Yeah.
legit was doing. Okay, you know how when you look at yourself like, if only I could get this just a little bit. I like the way this would look, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like she did that. Like she's like, I don't want to be this. I just want to
Yeah.
look. I want you to take the fat off, and I just want to have a little bit more booty, because the booty didn't look like this big old fat ass. It just looked like
Just a nice
little booty.
It's good.
Right?
Good.
So
yeah.
I think that's okay. That's fine.
I'm game.
I think whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do, it's like who was I telling you, Marissa? I don't know who I was talking to.
It's all about her journey, right, Marisol?
Yeah, exactly. It's about her journey. Exactly. That's how I feel. I feel like if you want to do it, then you do whatever you want to do. If that's what makes you feel good, whatever's going to help your self-esteem. Yeah. My thing is that look going to be cute 10 years from now? What if it changes? What if then it becomes like a fad to start like not having such big breasts?
Which I'm also a fan of.
Huh?
Which I'm also a fan of. What?
Things always change.
Things always change. That's the thing.
Like I'm seeing bell bottoms come back right now.
Always change.
Yes, I love them.
I know.
Though.
I saw those and I was like, oh my God, I got to go get me some. I forgot about that.
I have some and I bought them right before pregnancy. And I hate that I bought them right before pregnancy. But I want to show y'all somebody who is obsessed with getting it done. And she talks about it. She's a younger girl. And that's the thing. She's never had children. So you do all that work, and then what's gonna happen?
Before children,
you're just you're kind of like
in the beauty pageant world. Do you see a lot of people that go the extra mile to try to look a certain way?
Yes. Well, when it comes to boobs, yes.
Yeah.
Everything else, I don't think it was that big back then. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if anyone got a BBL, but yeah. I'm sure now. Like now, I feel like now it's more.
How crazy! That was only like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Times is changing quick.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to look like Kim K.
Yeah.
Well, she started that. Yeah. I think she might have been the one that started.
I think she did.
Because
everybody wants to look like her now.
I don't think even when J-Lo was around, because that wasn't a thing for the booty to be that big.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying?
Just her. And
it was just her. And even then it was kind of like how big her butt was type of thing. Versus now, everybody wants to look like that. And obviously, I love watching these things like I do. I'm not going to lie. But it's crazy to me because this one girl that I watched, she got one BBL, and I guess she wasn't set. I guess what ends up happening is if you lose weight after you have this surgery, obviously because it's fat, your booty goes down. Also, you still have it's still bigger than what you had, but it's not as big as I guess you were hoping it was going to be. Okay. So she went back for a second one. Ooh. And it just looks uncomfortable.
You start getting addicted to that shit, I'm sure. Just changing the way you look.
She totally is addicted. And I'm trying to find her so I can show you guys because it's insane how small her
legs are.
No.
Whereas it looks like hot dogs, like uncooked hot dogs with a big butt.
Is insane. Like it's like
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Do you remember when they said that Thalia had her ribs?
Was that ever true?
I don't know.
Oh, I forgot about that, Leah.
I don't know. But
remember they said because her waist was super little, and they said that she had like the bottom 2 ribs taken out.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
I used to get her confused with Gloria Trevi. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh yeah, no.
No, one's very like rock star.
Yeah. So super weird. Sorry.
Yeah.
Weird.
Damn, why can't I
While Marisol finds this beautiful woman, Brianda, what do you have coming up this year? What do you like for real? Like after, because we didn't really talk much about the tequila. Are you guys going to be coming out with like stuff that you collaborate with, or is it just you helping this distillery launch what they already have?
Okay, so for the tequila, we're waiting on a permit. So we're hoping to get it by May. Mm-hmm. And then once we have that permit, we're able to bring the bottles to the US. And then that's when we can start distributing.
Nice.
So, and also because you can only call it tequila if it comes from Guadalajara, in case y'all didn't know.
So, Mexico owns the term tequila.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So if you try to sell tequila in Mexico, they're going to charge you like 60% taxes or something crazy. If you call it tequila.
What is it, Cuba? What's fucking take all your money?
They're very about their tequila. It's like it's ours.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
And you can't do it anywhere else.
What's your drink? What's your drink of choice? Like, what kind of drink do you like? Cocktail, straight, you take shots still, or what?
I love margaritas.
Yeah, who doesn't like a good margarita? What?
I only like the ones from El Tiempo.
Dude, El Tiempo's bomb.
Because you only need one.
That's
true.
El Tiempo.
And it's little.
Or Lupe Tortilla. Lupe Tortillas.
I don't remember that.
I've never had them from Lupe Tortilla, but definitely from El Tiempo, I've had them before. I don't really like sweet drinks. That's my thing. That's why I don't like margaritas.
So we started doing ranch waters. You know what ranch water is?
I've heard of it.
So it's really just lime and tequila and maybe some Topo Chico or seltzer water.
Okay.
Yep. But they have it in a can.
They do, but it doesn't taste as good. Like it tastes like artificial, artificially sweetened. Just get the fresh lime, squeeze it, a shot or two of tequila and some Topo Chico, or lime seltzer water like LaCroix or whatever the fuck you like drinking. Do you drink that stuff?
LaCroix?
Yeah, like any kind of flavored water.
Yeah, I do.
Do you? Do you?
Not
No?
really. No. It's either water or
Same.
I'm drinking.
My wife got all bougie and shit. Started buying every seltzer water that they make at Kroger HEB. We've tried them all.
Oh, really?
Big Swig and LaCroix Jr. and fucking Waterloo, and
All that shit.
they're not that good.
I don't really
No,
like
they're
them.
not.
Y'all, because it's crazy what this girl looks like, and I found her. Here we go.
Jesus.
I just
Finally.
want to show y'all what she looked like before, though. I'm gonna show y'all the
Okay.
Instagram.
Okay.
But this is what y'all see her right here
Yeah, on the bed.
Yeah.
on the bed. That's what she looked like before.
Oh, shit.
God damn.
Where do I show that?
Right there.
Oh, my God.
Look at her. This is her.
That's a
She was
huge
chubby.
difference.
She was not. She had to lose some weight in order to qualify to get the BBL, right? So she did have to drop weight to be able to qualify. Because I watched her whole videos, and I couldn't believe that after I watched her video, she said I'm going for my second, and then I couldn't believe that she said I'm going for my third. So now
Damn.
I want y'all to
Those
see,
just sound like they're painful.
I know.
bro. What about that waist
I mean, I'm not mad at it.
I don't know.
and that booty though?
doesn't look
It's
natural,
like
though.
so crazy. Look at that butt.
That looks like
Look at
Dawn's.
her legs.
That looks like Dawn's.
Look at her legs.
It's
Do they match or no?
it's too much for me.
The
Like
thighs don't match.
it's too much for me. It's like
But I'm happy for her. Ooh.
God, dog.
I don't know. I
see?
don't like it. But
man.
she looks great.
I'm not
she
saying
looks great.
no.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, who doesn't
I'm
want
not
to
saying no.
Who doesn't want to look at this?
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be real.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm for it. I'm there. I'm here for her.
I'm here for it, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
super for it.
go for it, you know? But it's like so much to where, you see what I'm saying? The doctors need to figure out how to make the thighs match the booty so that it goes together. Instead of just kind of doing this, I don't know. If I were a plastic surgeon, I'd have to listen, we're trying to make it not look so fake. But she says she likes the exaggerated look.
Okay.
But do you think by then it becomes like a mental
Oh,
disorder?
for
yeah,
sure.
all the
I would
fucking
say
way.
so.
There's something called
Like, what else can you do? Like that dysphoria, body dysphoria,
Yeah,
or
that's
Yeah.
what I
whatever?
was gonna say.
Dysmorphia?
Dysmorphia.
Dysmorphia. Yeah. Dysphoria.
I don't-
And then
I
they're
don't-
just never happy with
I
themselves.
mean,
That's a show.
I feel like this
That's a
looks like
TV
a
show.
Bratz doll.
yeah.
That's a sexy Bratz doll. Not gonna lie.
But the Bratz doll kind of look like that. My thing is like, so okay, go for it, right? But if you're that young and you haven't had kids
How old is
yet,
she?
I mean, she's like 20s.
Oh,
Do you see
She-
what I'm
she has
saying?
mental issues.
So I
Yeah,
feel
for
like
sure.
I think like, and I get it. That's your bread and butter. So you know what I'm saying. That's how you make your
mean,
money.
do
I mean,
you.
do you? But my thing is like, I think you should have your children first, and then fuck up your body because that's what happens. You
let's
know?
be real. She's probably not looking to have children. Period.
Well, she said she would like some someday. Doesn't know when someday is. But if she's had that much work done, what they go through though, what they go
Marissa starts moving slowly.
Oh,
Like,
man, I keep thinking about that thing that fucking stab her.
what they go through. You can't even sit on your
hey, that stabber put that
booty.
baby inside of you.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, it did. Yes, it did.
What they go through though, isn't that crazy?
Like,
Like,
I'm all for like a little here, a little there.
Same,
like, it'll make
yeah.
me feel better. But once you're like, okay, I'm not happy with my body, and no matter what I do, I'm never gonna be happy with it. That's just a mental disorder now.
Yeah.
or when you start doing too much to the face.
I was just about to say, Marisol, are you gonna do it or not gonna do it? Because you
To
keep
the
talking about,
face?
yeah, you talk about Botox and fillers.
I'm going to get fillers.
I don't
right
know.
here.
I'm still kind of weird about it. I don't want to start looking like
That's what I'm
Like,
scared of.
that's
too.
Botox.
I want to do fillers
Yeah?
too, but I'm scared.
I'm
Yeah.
scared.
I don't
of
think
it.
fillers is as bad as Botox. Botox
Oh,
numbs
really?
the nerve. Fillers just
Okay.
fills in the gap.
the little gaps. Yeah.
And then it metabolizes in like a year or
But
two.
it doesn't like change anything or do anything. No.
How often do you have to do
just
it?
fills it in.
I'd have to give up something to start working on. Does that make sense? Like,
God, and that's the thing. Then you got to keep up with that shit.
that's what I don't like. I don't want to keep up with stuff.
Come on, you got the nails, you got the hair, you got the
That's
toenails.
why.
What's one more thing?
I always
That's
just at
why.
night I just put my piece
Eyelashes?
of tape.
Eyelashes.
I like get my roller.
Piece of tape on your face again. Like what? It helps me from tightening my face at night.
Yeah, I do the
Sorry.
roller with my night creams, and I mean, I do my night creams and all that, and I use the little roller thing to make sure my neck, and I put lotion all over my body. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I try to do my what I can control. Obviously, you can't control age.
Of course.
So, obviously life starts to happen. So naturally you're going to get wrinkles. Naturally, your hands start to look like a 40-year-old's hands. You know what I'm saying? Like
Madonna's hands.
They look crazy because
That's
it doesn't
why she
match
wears gloves, dude.
Because it doesn't match the rest of her body either.
She wears gloves because her whole face is like completely plastic. But her hand, I mean, what can you do to your hands?
I think you can do stuff to your hands.
You can.
Hers probably looks like the Coco Grandma's hands.
They're
I'm
bad.
talking about.
Just Google Madonna's hands, guys. It's scary.
It's pretty bad. And I saw a lot of people reposting her speech.
What was her speech?
About like
blowing up the White House or blowing up?
No. Well, that one too. That
Remember?
one.
Yeah,
that
like
one was crazy.
During the first, go ahead.
But no one thought that was bad, right?
Yeah.
I saw somebody
posted. I guess like when she first started, because she was so controversial, like what she would sing about, like a virgin and all that stuff. They didn't want to give her a chance, and so basically she was saying, all those that told me no is what motivated me to come out, and all the women,
all the United Whores of America, they all came together
and started reposting it.
Free your inner whore.
I love Madonna.
Hey, I'm all about it.
Yeah, to me, Madonna is on the Mariah Carey level, right? She's somebody who can be whatever she wants to be because she's got the fucking money to back it. Bitch, say something.
Exactly.
My bank. What you got to say?
Exactly.
So she's one of those for me. But again, to me, it's like, stop crying wolf. We don't have it that bad. The women who had it bad were the ones who did all the work for us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Who did all the work for us to be able to be where we are today. Right now, your number one responsibility should be to do what you
do, you to the fullest.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't talk about it, be about it, bitch.
That's why I said that other one. That the quote that I gave the last podcast was work in silence. There's nothing like working in silence, and then you just say, here you go, bitch.
Take that.
What now?
What you got to say? No man got in my way. You know what I'm saying?
Why don't you go pound sand, hater? Why don't you go play in traffic?
Exactly.
Hater?
No inequality happened my way because I figured it out. I made shit happen, and I'm here today. And that's really my goal always with women is to like empower you that way. We don't need to bash a man. I'm sorry.
No.
We all know they contribute.
Kind of
5%
they do
to
things.
life.
They do things.
They
like
contribute
I said,
about 5%.
They're good at
to
about
life.
4 or 5 things.
Rob says that's
and
too
I'm
many.
all about it.
I did say that might be a little generous.
Yeah. I'm all about it.
Because I follow this other conservative lady. I think her name's like Bernadine or Bernine or something like that. Yeah. And she posted the whole thing with that Ephesians, I don't know the exact number chapter in the Bible, but it's about the submission to the man, right? And how everybody takes that as like, fuck that shit. I'm not. You know the girl.
They take it as slavery.
Yeah, exactly. You know the girl from Full House. What's her DJ? The older girl that played DJ in Full
Candace
House.
Something.
That girl.
Her name Candace?
She talked about it when she was on The View, and they fucking ate her up. Like they were so
that.
pissed
I hate
about
The View.
I know.
Why does anybody watch
I used to
them?
like it.
Whoopi Goldberg.
I never did.
When they started just getting too they started getting too much out there for me to where it was like, this has got to stop. Like, y'all are not contributing any positive way into this world.
Boo, they don't speak the truth.
They don't.
They don't. Why I stopped watching them.
And I used to be like, hell yeah, the Megan girl was the only one that was kind of like, and then she kind of fell in their little circle. Like, I don't really know where she stands right now. I'm so confused with her. But at first it was kind of like,
her parents were really good friends
yes,
with the Bidens.
of course.
So it was just
exactly.
Girl, I'm telling
so
you,
it was at first
political affiliations are a waste
she
of
was
time.
defending Trump at first. She couldn't stand what they would talk about him, and then all of a sudden she became this hater with them.
Remember how he attacked her dad?
Yeah, I mean, he was POW. Like, I was like, wait a minute, bitch, don't say that.
Biden's doing his first conference right now, the live stream right now. It's the first like live Q&A.
Damn, 5 years later, he's finally doing a conference.
I feel so bad for him, though.
Why,
Somebody
because
just
he
sent me
failed
this
3
message
times?
that they go,
Why? Because he failed 3 times?
Look,
I know y'all.
I know, right?
He needs to
I know y'all
retire.
left.
That's what he
I
needs.
know.
I laughed. I'm laughing. 100%. I said that earlier too.
Hey, but he brought it on himself because he used to talk shit about Donald Trump, and they were talking about it like he looked like he was a diabetic and he was big and overweight, and he was like, he's so big, look at how he walks, I wouldn't walk like that, and look at him, look at what happened.
Dude, somebody sent me
Tripped 3 times.
check it. They're like, Biden just said Trump was afraid of China. What the fuck? Like, I can just imagine what this guy's saying right now. We're gonna see clips for the rest of the day.
Listen,
Don't
I
tell
can't watch
me about
that shit because it makes me so mad, and it makes me so mad that the world falls for it. And
It's so dumb. Why are we even talking about that?
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway,
'Cause I
back to
brought
what back to what we were talking about like this whole thing about like the submission to the man, and it says, and you, the man, love your wife the way God loves the church. And so he's talking about being equal.
Hello.
Like he's
Hello,
not,
Helen.
and it's, I hate that when you, and I think anybody can read something and make their own opinion about shit, right? Isn't that how it works? This is why there's so many fucking opinions in this damn world.
Ugh.
So my thing behind that is like, I have no problem submitting to my husband because guess what? My husband does the same for me.
Amen.
It was funny. I was talking to Mickey the other day, and I don't know what we were talking about. And she goes, yeah, I don't see nothing. I'm like, I'm glad you don't. You understand that, right? Like, you understand that if he's doing for you, there's nothing wrong that you're also doing for your husband. It's okay. Now, when it's kind of like, where's my food? And you're like, yes, sir. Then I think there's something there. You've got some
My
kind of.
husband is such a trooper, boo, because I mean, I don't know how many times we've had a pizza. And he told somebody, he's like, I love my pizzas.
His Totino's pizzas.
We're just, God, boo.
That's
If I was a stay-at-home mom, that'd be one thing, but I'm not.
And even then, like now, like how stay-at-home moms.
And you know what? I take that back. My bad. Thank you for correcting me, because those bitches work so fucking
yeah,
hard. They don't
man.
ever get a break.
Yeah.
Nobody doesn't. And then the husband gets home from work.
My God.
And it's like, can you give me like an hour? All they're asking is for an hour. I'm like, damn. All you need is just an hour?
It's hard.
I'd be like, nah, bitch, you taking over. You home now? I'll be back. I'll be back because I've been here more than 8 hours. Woo. I've been here since you left.
And look, when my husband goes out on the road and he's gone for 2 months, right? When he comes home, the first thing he wants to do is all of us be together. And the first thing I want to do is like, can me and you go somewhere like by ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know you want to be with them, but I've been with them this whole fucking time. Like, please. And so we do that because I think now he understands that I know he wants to see his children.
Right, of course.
But I need some alone time.
Yeah.
Like, without them.
My girlfriend,
Please.
Rania, kind of works similar to what you have because her husband has to go. He's Jimmy Butler's personal trainer. And so when they're working, he's been in Miami for the last 6 weeks. So she's by herself and she does everything by herself. There's absolutely no break. And you know what I'm saying? She doesn't have this time to herself. And so it's funny we were talking about that because it's a different kind of job and you have to be in a different type of mental state to be able to do that, because I don't think if you're a working mom or a stay-at-home mom, it's both, it's two hard things. One, because as a working mom, you don't get that time with your children, so you're missing out, right? And then you're coming home from work, right, and having to still work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A stay-at-home mom is working from the minute she wakes up. There's no break, especially if maybe there's no husband, a husband that works out of town, or maybe a husband that's not around as much, you know what I'm saying, or is not willing to help, right? Because we have those assholes too, you know, who's not willing to help.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be married then.
Yeah, exactly. Then, you know what I'm saying? I feel that, but it's like, I told Mickey the other day, I said, it's the little things for me. And I've talked about this before, and I know it's really silly, but for me, it's the fact that Chingo has coffee for me every morning. It does not matter if we get up at the same time. My coffee is, here's your coffee.
Cute.
It is.
I know.
It is.
Cute.
It is the best thing in the world.
547.
Thank you. That's why there is no issue with me doing whatever he needs me to do or anything, because it works both ways. And I think that that's what women sometimes misinterpret what it means to submit to your husband. He needs to be doing the same for you. The same way God loved the church, he needs to love you, and he needs to do for you and the family.
Yeah.
He is the head. He is supposed to be the head. You're the neck. So guess what the neck does?
Yeah. So
you have to support it.
Yeah. I had my very first podcast was with a marriage counselor. And,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and we're talking about the differences between men and women, because I had posted on my Instagram. I had shared a post and, kind of made it an open discussion, and people were so mad, and, they were like, why are you posting stuff like this?
What'd you post?
I think it was a lady giving advice to younger girls, and she was saying, she was like, the guy I'm married to now, before me, he dated this girl. They dated for 6 years. He asked her to move countries for him. He didn't pay for her way here. He didn't pay for her school. He didn't buy her a car. Like, all he did was pay the bills. That's all he did. And he thought it was enough. And at the end of 6 years, he was like, I'm done. Like, he didn't even marry her. She was like, with me, she was like, I told him, you have 2 years to decide, what you're going to do. She was like, I'm only giving you 2 years. She was like, and because she was like, I know my worth and I set my standards, and I told him what I was okay with and what I wasn't okay with. She was like, I have a ring. We got married. He's bought me 2 cars. He paid for my degree, blah, blah, blah. Like, he did all this stuff, right? And people were like, well, why didn't she do it herself? Why is she giving out that kind of advice? And just girls were just mad. So I was like, you know what? And then someone messaged me. They were like, you shouldn't be posting stuff like that, because how are we ever supposed to, like, prove that we're the same as men? And I was like,
but we're not.
the
By
same.
doing it yourself, like,
Well,
why
we're not,
just
though.
go do it then?
We're
if you
not
want
the
to prove
same.
something, go do it by yourself.
Yeah.
Like, why does my post affect you?
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring in a psychologist, because some of these girls have traumas. That's what it is.
I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I was one of them. So we talked about the difference between men and women, and we talked about how, he explained, he was like, men, he was like, want to be respected. He was like, more than loved. They care about being respected.
Yeah.
And women want to be loved more than they care about being respected. So you give a man the respect, and the man is supposed to give the woman the love.
Yeah.
So that goes back to what the Bible says, and that's how you interpret it.
I think I think men and women all have the same values, right? All the same things that they want, like love and sex and, emotional, whatever. But I think the way that we categorize them as what's important and what isn't is different. Like, for men, it's probably like number 1 is sex, but for us, it's number 3 or number whatever. And, like, respect. Like, I think we all want the same things. But I don't think that it's wrong for men to have certain things that they do or certain things that they need, and women to have certain things that they need. I mean, why is that bad?
I don't know, but I think
why is that bad?
the feminist movement have made it to where do you know what I'm saying? Fuck a man. You know what I'm saying? I don't need shit from him. No, like, nobody needs shit from anybody, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
a
that's
man
true.
don't need shit from a female, just like a female don't need shit from a man. The one thing my mom always told me was, I will say this, she's like, it doesn't matter if a man takes care of you, that's fine, right? But you should still always have an education, like have a backup.
Yeah.
Because should he leave and should it not work out for whatever reason, right? Heaven forbid that. You're not like, oh shit, what am I going to do with myself? Because I never went to school. I didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, regardless if she's like, you've never used your degree, she goes, you have it. And unfortunately, it's just like, we live in a world where just because you say you have a degree, it like, oh, okay, well, she has a degree, we can go ahead and hire her. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was my mom's biggest thing was, whatever you do, get an education. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. She's like, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? But also know that, let him know too. Like, you can leave and I'm cool. Like, I don't need you. It is great that we have each other, but I need you to know that I don't need you, just probably like you don't need me to be successful. Does that make sense? You obviously make better together.
Yeah.
that's what my mom would say. She's like, so you just always have to be prepared for the worst. And she's like, and that's with anything in life. It doesn't, not necessarily with marriage, but you sent me Crystal Wall's live thing the other day.
Did you listen to it?
I listened to the majority. And
it was long.
It was long. She was going on a rant.
I listened to the whole thing because she can't talk.
She talked about marriage is work, and it is
every day.
And sometimes I feel like I don't know what I was listening to the other day, and I think it has to do with like if it's even more work if you have this ego mentality, like she talked about ego.
Yep.
When you have this mentality that I don't need him. Like, I got this. You know what I'm saying? I think you make it a little bit tougher for there to ever break that wall to where you can feel equal to each other. And you make it a challenge to ever make it successful.
I will say from experience, because remember, like me and my husband were both coming from the party life. We just happened to meet each other and love things about each other. But we got married 3 months after we met. And so we both had egos up to here. And so it took a long time for us to get rid of ego, because I think that was really what was fucking us up. Our ego. We didn't want it, and it was the craziest thing. It's like, how would we want to be together, right? When we both had, I didn't want him to tell me anything. He didn't want me to tell. It was the craziest thing. It's like you fall in love with all the cool shit, but then once someone starts to try to tell you something, then that was a fucking problem. And it took a long time. It took a while for us to both say, you know what? Why are we fighting against each other? We're on the same fucking team.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, get your fucking life
My
right.
mentality before was like, you don't pay my bills, you ain't got not one say in my life. You don't tell me. When you start paying my phone bill, you can check my phone.
My favorite quote was, it costs to be the boss. You want to be the boss of me?
Hello.
Pay up, bitch.
Exactly. No,
But I don't say that anymore. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
That was a long time
was
ago.
me. That was younger me. That was 20-year-old me.
Yep.
I always told Pete, I wish I would have met him before, just because I feel like I'm doing like the mom thing so late in life, right? And I feel like I'm such a late bloomer.
Maybe before it wasn't.
But I don't know that I would have been a good person anyway before that. I probably would have been garbage. You know what I'm saying? We probably wouldn't have gone along as great. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't be as mature.
Yeah.
And I feel like we both met each other after going through some shit, right? And both dealing with life and in previous relationships and knowing what works and doesn't work for you and so forth, to where when we met, it was like, yeah, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? And it was easier. Although at the very beginning, I was still very kind of like, wait a minute.
That
like
ego.
Slow down, boo-boo.
Yeah, like not in my house.
ego.
Like, I don't need you. I want you to know that, just because you're chingle bling does not mean nothing to me.
And what did you learn from that marriage counselor?
He was the tamale kingpin.
Yeah, I know, right?
He was putting down the tamal.
The tamal.
The tamal.
He still put it down.
Hey now. What did you learn from that marriage counselor on that podcast? Like, what was the big takeaway, you think, for you personally?
Well, for me, I thought that was very important, because you don't really, obviously, like you said, everybody wants respect, but you don't think of it as how important respect is to a man. Like, I know people, and they talk to their man however way they want, and then things end up not working out, and it's
then
like,
they catch a backhand to the face.
for that. And it's like, and they don't understand. They're like, he just doesn't see the value in me, and it's like,
well, you downgrade him every day.
My favorite thing to say is you're being unreasonable. That makes any woman really upset. Like, you're being unreasonable right now.
I'm a woman. What is reason?
Exactly.
Sorry, I'm not the one.
Get it together, Marissa. Get it together, Marissa.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of it has to do with that. I think sometimes we confuse feminism with, you know what I'm saying, just putting your ego aside for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And, just kind of like sitting down. And it's like yesterday when we talked, when I ended the podcast, I said that marriage is like a business, and if you're not evaluating it, if you're not making changes, if you're not sitting there telling each other, if he's not listening to you, and let's just think about it. If he was somebody that worked for you and he's not listening to you, more than likely you're going to do what?
Fire his ass.
So if he's not doing because sometimes people stay together because of the kids, right? You're not doing anything better for the kids. You're just showing, if you're a female, right, and you've got girls, you're probably showing your girls that it's okay to tolerate certain behavior. And when they start to date, they're probably going to put up with the same shit that you did, right?
Yeah, it's a cycle.
Exactly. If you have boys, Dad, you're teaching your boys
how to disrespect
women and how they don't have to listen to a female. They don't have to do these things because, like Rob said, I think some of it has to do with machismo. You know what I'm saying? Which maybe just never goes away because you feel like you have to put this front, this ego again. You have to put this front like you're the boss of your house. You see what I'm saying? Instead of like you being a man and being like, no. See, in my household, it don't work like that. You see what I'm saying? My wife is equal to me. We respect each other. We love each other. If you think that's being a pussy, that's your little issue that you have with yourself. It has nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes what I feel like women don't realize when they're putting up with shit in a marriage, while they think they're doing the child some good by staying together because they want them to grow up in a household with two parents, they're really just doing worse to the children rather than sitting down with your kids. And maybe they may not be old enough to understand, but just kind of go to a therapist, a psychologist, somebody who could help you explain it to your kids to where they could kind of understand, and then say like, we don't hate each other. We just can't be together anymore. It doesn't work for us, and it's not a healthy environment for you. You see what I'm saying? And this women empowerment, I mean, this women like, fuck men, all you're doing is teaching your daughter that men don't deserve the respect, and you don't deserve to be loved. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't deserve to have a man treat you well, or whatever it is. In my opinion,
it was like, if you love yourself, you would be okay with letting him do stuff for you. Like, why are you so mad that man did all that stuff for her?
And it makes and this is just my experience with my husband, but it makes him feel good to do things for us.
Yeah,
like it just does. I don't know.
That's all men want to do. That's what we're here for. We're here to provide. We're here to hunt and gather.
He's so fucking badass.
Same lady that I'm telling you guys that posted that story or whatever about that phrase, that chapter in the Bible. She does these stories about women who used to be these feminist and hardcore to where they realized like, this wasn't doing me no good. This one broke my heart because their marriage was just fucked up. And then when she kind of like started going to church and just realized like certain things that she was doing to like, she apologized to him and he said, all I've ever wanted to do was take care of you and the kids. It had nothing to do with me feeling like you were less than me, that you couldn't do the same as me. I knew all those things. He's like, you weren't letting me love you. You weren't letting me.
That was her childhood trauma, girl.
Exactly. Yeah. You weren't letting me provide. You weren't letting me be the man that I wanted to be to you and my kids, because you had this ego, this mentality that I can't, you're not going to do all this for me, or you think I'm less than, because she was mad that she had to quit her job. Right? Because financially it wasn't going to work anymore. They were paying so much money for childcare. Yeah. So she was so bitter at the fact that he didn't have to quit his job, but he was in the military. Yeah. And she quit her job to be able to stay at home with her kids. And she just felt like, well, why should I have to do it? Why doesn't he have to do it?
Instead of looking at it, I get to spend time with my kids. I get to raise my kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, something the marriage counselor said, it was like, different things work for different people. But he's like, I do lean more towards the traditional way where the man provides and the woman takes care of her house.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the format that's
family first.
The format that's worked the best, the longest, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like my grandmother.
I fucking love Rob.
My grandma did not ever work a day in her life as far as like a job that you apply for. Her job was at her house. She took care of 9 kids. My grandfather would get up in the morning, made sure his breakfast was done, make sure his coffee was served.
I didn't do that this morning for my boo when he got up. It was too early.
I got a podcast to get to, gotta go by.
I was like, babe, I'm sorry. Can you make it without me? He's like, I'll be all right. Because I make him his toast, I make his coffee, and I couldn't do it this morning.
Yeah. And so but money got deposited in the bank, and she was the one that handled that shit. You see what I'm saying? And it worked great. He didn't care. He just wanted his $20 for work to put gas in the car because he had lunch.
Simple.
He didn't care. He didn't care. Their house was taken care of. The clothes was washed. They lived in a nice house. He never drove a shitty car. You know, my grandmother was never like, oh, I need to have this. Anything that lady wanted, she's had it. From her kids giving it to her to my grandfather giving it to her. So she's worked her ass off, by raising her children and being there for her husband. So for me, I need to see nothing wrong with that. My mom too. My mom was a stay-at-home mom for the longest until she decided to go back to school, and then I kind of when she started kind of opening up her business and stuff, like when she did that, I saw there was a little chip on her shoulder after that, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute here. Did you forget my daddy? Like for the longest. You were a stay-at-home mom. Calm down. You're up here, Angeles. I need you down here. Because for me, she went from being this example of you can be this woman and still take care of your house. Whoa, what is that?
Is that your lawn guy?
My lawn guy's here. Great.
Well, we're about to hit the 2-hour mark.
And we got to go out of town.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, we leave out of town. I'm sorry, Brianda. I didn't even ask if you had something to do.
No,
I know her
just
limit.
wanted to bring up going back to the Bible, the virtuous woman, how it talks about that, and how it says she takes care of her house first, and then she goes and she does her business. And her husband is a well-respected man. So I think that's a great example for everyone.
Amen.
And just get off your high horse, ladies.
We'll have to do this again.
Like,
get off that bitch.
Get off of it. It's fine if you say yes sometimes.
That's somebody's husband outside right now.
Exactly.
Taking care of business.
And guess what?
That's right.
I send the money to her account.
Damn.
That's who I send the money. That's who I pay.
God,
That's who I pay. It's her account.
Damn.
So you know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. And she is the one that will, like, if it's like right now when it turns summer, she's the one that reaches out and say, hey, so would you like us to now come every week versus every 2 weeks because in the winter
she's
time
handling her business behind the scenes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just you don't have to be this all the time. Just put it aside for a little bit.
The snaps say it all. You don't have to explain it. Just snap your fingers. We get it.
Let him love you. You love him.
Rub his back. Like you said yesterday on the podcast.
I mean, rub his back.
Rub his back every now and then.
Go south of the border from time to time.
Exactly.
That's all you got to do.
And just, there you go. That's it. And you're good. So thank you, Brianda, for being on. I wish you much success. Keep doing what you're doing.
Amen.
You're great. You know what I'm saying? Very, another woman who is,
badass example.
badass example, exactly. Latina and has it going on. So we appreciate you being on. Thank you so much for taking the time. And then tell them where they can find you.
Oh, Brianda.Carrasco. That's my Instagram, and then you can just find me that way.
And then
Carrasco.
and then also your supplement line is also
BCN Supplements.
So.
I'll put it all in the show notes so people can scroll down.
So if you're watching this, links are there. And thank you guys for listening. Appreciate it. We'll see y'all next week.
Adios.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.